So here I had a 2017 Toyota Corolla with the 1.0-liter engine. It was an IM, and it had these codes: P014C, 14D, 15A, and 1604. And the check engine light actually went off on its own, but I'm still going to show what these codes mean and how to diagnose them. So the first 6 pages here has info about what the codes mean, how to perform the test that determines if the codes passed, the conditions to run them, and info on how the computer determines if the sensor is in spec. Also, it has OBD2 info if you don't have TechStream, which is the Toyota scan tool, and it basically determines if the codes passed or failed, and if they failed, the next 4 pages explain how to diagnose them. And if it does pass, it basically just says that there's nothing to do. There's nothing you can do. It just, the system is working fine at this moment. So if you want to stop the video and zoom in and read all this, you can do that. I'm also going to explain it here. So reading the description on the codes, basically what it's saying is that the air-fuel ratio sensor output, which would be this circuit here, you know, the sensor, not the heater circuit, but the sensor side of it, that it has a delay or a slow response rate. And basically what it's doing is that the computer, once it's ready to do its testing, it'll inject a little bit of fuel, and then it'll turn off a little bit of fuel. And based on that turn on or turn off, it wants to see that the air-fuel ratio is acting correctly. So as you can see here, as soon as it turns on, it adds a little extra fuel. It wants to see that change. You see that sudden change? This delay time means that it saw the change a little later than normal. So it's a malfunction. So that's a delay code. A response rate code means that it saw the change, but it's not really changing in voltage as much as it's supposed to normally. So that's what the codes mean. That's what it's trying to see. So basically the next 4 pages explain how to diagnose it. And some of the problems it says is wiring, something that can be causing the sensor to be reading lean or rich, like a vacuum leak, stuff like that. The heater on the sensor, you're gonna test the resistance on that. One bad fuse, only has 1 fuse for the sensor, for the heater side of it, or an incorrect sensor. Now to get to it, the connector is right there. It's very easy. It's right behind the valve cover. And then the sensor itself is also kind of easy to get to. I had enough space to get my ratchet back there with the oxygen sensor socket and get it out and put a new one back in. So your first test, you're going to be testing the resistance of the heater circuit on your sensor, which is numbers 1 and 2 pins. And then the resistance for that is going to be 1.6 to 3.2. And then you're going to want to check pins 1 and make sure it's not shorted to pins 3 and 4, which it should just be open. Mine was reading 2.3 for pins 1 to 2, which is good. It's in spec. And then from 1 to 3 and 1 to 4, it was reading nothing. So that's good. Then your next test is going to be checking the continuity between the sensor side of the connector all the way to the computer. To the connector on the computer, and you want to make sure you know if it's an SFI. There's a sticker on the top of the hood here, and it is an SFI because I guess some of them are different. The computer is right here on the driver's side. Super easy to get to. You're gonna want to disconnect the long one. Then I would also disconnect the battery if you don't feel safe doing testing like this to go to the computer. But yeah, if you want to do that, you can do that too. And you're gonna be testing the cavities here: 23, 133, and 134. And looking at the connector, these are the ones, and you can actually see them. They have the numbers on them on there, some of them. And basically what you're going to be testing is if it has continuity from the computer all the way to the connector on the AF sensor. So on the sensor connector on terminal 1, you're going to be checking that it has continuity to terminal 23, and then you're going to also be checking that it doesn't have a continuity to the other terminals, and vice versa with 3 and 4. And then, like I said, you just want to make sure that it doesn't have continuity with, like, for example, 1 to 4 or 1 to 3 or 3 to 4. All right. And even after all that, I found no shorts, and all the continuity was good for all the wires. And then the last thing I did this is with the battery connected. I checked that number 2 wire to see if it can light up my a test light. because that's the power coming from the fuse for your heater side of the sensor, and if it's not working, then you'll get incorrect readings because it won't heat up fast enough. So even after that, I just decided to change the sensor with an Denso one. That's the part number for it. Denso is the one that makes the sensor for Toyota, so it would be best to go with that or an OEM, because that's actually one of the things it says to check for if it has an OEM sensor. And here you can see I have enough space to put my ratchet back there with the oxygen sensor. And here I'll just leave a couple more pages of information, like the wiring diagrams, if you need it. And obviously there's better ways to check the wiring, like loading the circuit to see if it can hold current. But I went this way because, like I said, the check engine light ended up turning off on its own anyway. I kind of knew I wasn't going to find anything there, but I thought I'd make a video out of it because there's no videos out there on how to test like these sensors like that, especially these type of O2 delayed time codes or slow response rate codes. I didn't even know what they meant before I made this video. But yeah, if you have any questions or any comments, yeah, just let me know and I'll try to answer them as quick as possible.